GPVWC 2020 is go!
Damien Kardash just put. Okay, we're muted.
Sandeep.
Alright, why were you muted then? Oh, so your podcast now. Alright, so it works. Alright, let's do the intro again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to GPVWC Supercup Baku. We've been talking for like 10 minutes, and apparently sound wasn't working, but it's been resorted. You can hear us now. It's wet in Baku, as you've probably seen. Jennis Walborn has got professional pole, but Frank Hemming is on a monster of a lap in the meantime, double purple, and he is very likely to go on a professional pole, Josh.
Yeah, he's looking very quick. Frank Hammond knows purple sector 1 and 2 so far. Oh, as he does just go fastest by half a second. So yeah, Frank and Giannis both seem to be at the front. Both seem to be the quickest guys right now. Quite a big gap back to Menno Klon. Just looking further down, Mark Fuller seems to have tried out the dry tyres, even though it is very much still wet on track. Doesn't seem to have gone well for him. He's lost the front wing. So
it's worth trying it, to be fair. If you are, a bit further down the grid, and he is struggling. He's at the racing line, Mark. Oh no, this is not going to end very well, is it? If you're down the grid, you can try something like this. If it dries up suddenly, which is improbable, but it can happen, then suddenly, you start with what? P1, P2, P3. Even if normally you would qualify P20, but it's really not working out for Mark, is it?
No, it's just a bit too wet still, and that's the tricky thing. Well, with R32 in general, the dry line, unless it's perfectly dry, it's a very tight dry line you've got, and if you go just a millimetre off and you're on dry tyres, your car will slide away from you, and you'll end up in a wall. So, especially at a track like Baku.
I just want to focus on David Jund right now, because he has just gone from the wets to the inters, which is definitely a better tire right now. And he is on a flying lap. He's done a 49.0, which is the fastest sector 1 out of everyone. And now he is looking for a low 33 in that second sector. And what is he doing there? He's done a 33.1. He's on for pole. Great lap so far by David Jund. Improves, not a purple sector 2, but this is going to be very close to Frank Hemming's time, I'm sure.
Yeah, looking very good. And like you say, at the start of the session, there was a lot of a mix between tyres, between wets and inters. Seems to be inters best now, especially as it seems to have dried out a little bit throughout the session. And yeah, David Jund is just crossing the line now. Let's see what he can do.
Ooh.
And he does go provisional pole with 50.4. So yeah, Frank Hamming is now exiting the pits again though, so he'll be wanting to take that back from him.
Yeah, compared to Frank Hemming's times, David Jund winning about 2/10 on. Oh, Frank actually overshoots the corner there, together with Menno actually. So they may actually be going for some slipstreaming action here. Going out of the pits at the same time, and even, making a mistake in the same corner. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, it is interesting that they're still going for the slipstream in the wet here, which is not something you see very often, but it can definitely work, especially at this big main straight.
Yeah, especially if they've gone onto a more wet-focused setup and they're running higher wings, then yeah, the slipstream will help them out quite a bit more. I suppose at the moment you could say trying to help out Frank to get pole, but as I say that, David Jund is going even quicker. Purple sector 1 again, so he's looking on it at the moment.
Who's also on it? Quinte had a slipstream from someone going into the pits. That's from Tom Vandervoort, and he's done a purple sector 3 because of it and gets into P3, P4 now, because even Leonov improves to a 50.5. Who's, I think, also, no, he barely didn't get a slipstream, and even actually made a mistake in the final turn. So there's still time to be won there by Ivan. He's been practicing quite hard. I've seen him on the server multiple times. So he's definitely someone to look out for.
And David Jund is actually getting a good slipstream there from Pedro Gomez out of the final few corners, and Harris Young in front who's entering the pit. So this could be an even better time from him.
And there we go then, 50.1. David Jund, great lap by him. That is surely a contender for pole, but the track's still drying up. So Frank now coming onto the main straight, coming towards the first corner. I want to be focused on this lap. It's going to be a fantastic one, I'm pretty sure. Let's see how his turn 1 goes.
Yeah, at the moment, you want to just be on track right to the end, because the later in the session you set your time, the more grip there will be on track, the less rain. So yeah, all of these people now, you'd hope, are fueled up enough to go to the end and can just keep pumping in those laps. But yeah, David Young, very quick at the moment.
And Dennis Walborn as well. He's done P2 exact same time as Frank Hamming, interestingly. So Dennis Walborn gets into P2. He was, for example, 7/10 slower than Quinte in that final sector.
Yeah. Leon Bock has done a pretty good sector 1, purple sector 2, so maybe he's looking to get up there. As Pavel Andrzejowski as well is exiting the pits on soft tyres and can't even make it around the pit exit due to the grip. And Leon Bock does go pole by 6/10. That is an amazing lap from him there.
And Leonov gets P2. The track's drying out really hard right now. Leonov wins, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Because he just did the lap already. Safe rejoin, and he should be all good, which he does. Oh, maybe let's go early.
Purple sector 2 again. He doesn't have slipstream though this time down the main straight, so maybe not as good as sector 3, but still looking like a good lap so far.
And Ruud Heesterbay gets P4 as well, doing green in all sectors, 50.26 tenths off pole. Everyone's just going to improve now. It's going to be just crazy out here. As David Johns improves, he gets pole position so far. Improves by about 6 tenths and 69 thousandths to get to Buck. Who else is improving on track? Well, everyone basically. I don't see any other purple sectors yet though.
No purple sectors at the moment, but yeah, everyone will be improving their overall time.
Frank Hamming actually lost his front wing on his final lap. I mean, it's going to help him down the main straight, but, you know, I don't think that's what you want. So that's unfortunately him on his best shot for pole done. And Frank Hamming won't improve his time. People who might improve the time, Ziubinski, currently on P7. Actually, it's the wall on the main straight. That's not going to help his chances. Will he improve? He will not improve. Maybe he didn't hit that wall. He might have improved, but he did. And he's got one more shot and maybe even a slipstream.
So just watching there, Pavel Andrzejewski could be interesting. Here's that, because he's taken a very slow lap on his tries, and he's just lost his front wing there, so I say that. Clearly, he had to go offline to let some people through, and yeah, there's no grip there on his tries.
I love that jinx. That was horrible.
Yeah,
Dennis Walborn.
Classic commentator's curse.
Dennis Walborn just gone purple in sector 1, 48.2, and he's really close to the wall. He's really pushing it here, and I think he could be a very good contender. But everyone is a good contender at the moment for pole. He's really fast. He's done nice times, nice lines, and now the track is as dry as it will ever be in this session. And now you need to strike and get that pole position if you want it. Dennis Walborn in the second sector does a 33.1, which is slower than his previous time actually, but it's still pretty fast, Josh.
Yeah, and David Young is just coming across the line now. He hasn't looked so good on the lap so far. Got a slight slipstream maybe. He does improve though. So
4 laps in a row.
Yeah, almost a 2/10 gap there. Dennis Walborn, we'll see what he can do. Hasn't got slipstream either. Like say purple sector 1, not so great maybe sector 2. And he goes P4, 3 tenths off Young.
Yeah. Ruud Heesterbake also improving. No, he's already done actually. My apologies. He's done a 50.1 though, still an improvement. Adriano Piccini also on an improvement here. Has improved to P4 actually. Who else? Argo Teeter has improved to a P15. And I think there's only a few people still on laps. Quinte, for example, done a green sector 1 and has done now a 32.9 in sector 2, which is actually really fast. It's not purple, but it is really fast. He's got no slipstream from anyone, so let's see where Quinte can improve to.
Yeah, Kiers Makers as well, who's just behind him, is looking pretty quick in sector 1. Not so great sector 2, but he could still also improve. Michelle Galker and Kardash, the 2 Galley 82 guys, go 11th, 12th.
Or Quinte could go for pole here, actually. Does he get pole? No, he does not get pole.
Kiers Makers just crossing the line now. P9.
Ooh, Quinte lost a lot in that last sector compared to his other time. I think he may have gotten a slipstream in that one. Yeah, I think he did actually. No, he did actually win in the... Never mind, alright. So he doesn't have as much... he does have more downforce than other drivers have. Some drivers were 5 tenths faster in that sector, even 7 tenths faster we have seen. But I'm pretty sure that concludes the qualifying. So we have David Junt, pole position in front of Leon Buck and Ivan Leonov. I'm pretty sure that's his best qualifying of the year. He's going to be very happy with that. Opportunity P4 with behind him on P5, Janice Walborn, Quinte, Ruud Heestebeek filling in for Melteforce. Frank Hemming, PA, after making a mistake in the final lap. Keersmakers, P9 with Ragoza on P10.
Yeah, that was very good qualifying session. Obviously, David Yunt looking very fast. I think one guy I'm still maybe a bit disappointed that I couldn't see was Andrzejewski. I think if he could have got a lap in on those softs right at the end, it could have worked for him. The dry line seemed to be a bit, bit better for him, but see, we didn't get to see that. But everyone else, yeah, looking very good. And like we say, the people that managed to keep it on track did well. So
Yeah. A lot of the consistent guys that have traditionally done very well showing up. Now, one guy that's probably going to be disappointed as he was like P3 at the start of the session, Menoclont, unfortunately, 52.1, he's P20 at the moment. But at this race, anything can happen when it's dry, and it is not dry, it is wet. So, talking about the race, we will have two races. Race 1 will be 25 laps, and there will be a mandatory pit stop. Which is not the case anymore if you start on the wet tires. So if it will still be raining at the start of that session, the race session, then that tire rule will be thrown out the window. But besides that, there will be a mandatory pit stop. It's going to be interesting to see if it's going to dry up as well, and if people will go to slicks. It's going to be such an interesting race. And then we have race 2, which is 17 laps with no mandatory pit stops. I personally can't wait to see race 1. We're currently heading into warm-up. We'll be right back with you for race 1 of the broadcast as soon as possible. So stay tuned. And welcome back to the first race of Supercup Baku. It's still raining, it's still amazing, and without exaggerating, I think this could be the most interesting sim race I've ever seen, Josh.
Yeah, it's definitely got the potential to do that. Yeah, the rain, even in practice, has been catching a lot of people out. Some people still deciding on whether to go wets or inters. I think the rain has got heavier since qualifying, so I don't think we'll see anyone braving it on the dries to the start. But yeah, it's gonna be a tasty one, especially lap one at that castle section. We've had castle section cam going through the practice, and already seen a few instances there. So yeah, lap one is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, even the quickest drivers like Liam are struggling to find lines. It's really, really hard. And hopefully everyone gets through lap one, but let's be realistic here. I just don't see that happening. And there's a lot of as Damien Carter also spins, there's a lot of instances already in warm-up, people testing out the limits. But if there's a crash in, let's say P2 crashes in the castle section lap one, Josh, we are in for some big chaos, because it's just no getting through there if that happens.
Yeah, it will be a car park basically.
May see a red
quite know
flag
what
if that happens.
Yeah, could be. I think the last red flag we ever saw was Monaco 2018 Supercup, and that was caused by a track blockage.
Formula Challenge, I think, because I was driving there. What? No, actually, sorry. It was 2017 Formula Challenge, where was also a red flag.
Yeah, we don't get them very often, but mainly it is because of things like that, track blockage or a mass disconnect or anything like that. So you never know. There's definitely a quite big chance of it here in these conditions.
Absolutely, yeah. As another thing that's very interesting to me is, what is everyone going to start on? We've seen some people trying the softs mostly for like one corner before crushing out and going out again on the enters, but it's showing that people want to test it and want to go onto those softs very early. One guy that is very good at that, who's not racing this week but has raced last week, was Yael Tyen. I know him from Super League. He was always the first guy to go onto those dries whenever it was possible, and then I would go on it and I would crash out because it just sucked. And people that go for those risks, it's high risk, high reward, and it can pay off very well if you go out early.
Yeah, I think if it does stay wet throughout the race, I think it'll just be a normal one-stop winters. But yeah, it's when it starts to dry up, it'll be interesting to see, one, who can go first, and two, what people's strategies then become. Because if it's late enough, obviously you may be able to go on the soft to the end, or some people might just play it safe and go medium. So yeah, there should be an interesting amount of strategies if it does start drying up.
Interestingly, I thought if it does dry up 100%, it's going to be interesting. I think if it stays wet, we might just see everyone do a zero stop. Is that allowed is the question. I'm not 100% sure, but I think as you start on, I'm pretty sure if you start on the wet tires, then
I believe it is allowed, because the rule is that you have to use both dry compounds, not that you necessarily have to make a pit stop. And obviously in a wet race you don't have to have that rule, but I believe the fuel tanks aren't quite big enough to do that.
all right. That's a good point.
But then it could be interesting to see if people risk that and then try to do the whole race on a no stop with a full tank. But I think if people start doing that, we might see a few drop out of the race.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. The strategy is just, there's no mandatory pit stop anymore if you start on the wets, but it might just still be a mandatory pit stop based on the the fuel tank not being big enough. So we should go. A lot of people asking for the rules because it's not clear with the rain just so unexpectedly. People asking for a validation. Is this allowed? Is that allowed? But we should go into the race very soon, and I highly doubt we're gonna see anyone start on anything but the inters here. However, I will give $1 to anyone not starting, or well, anyone starting on the dry. So if you want to make some money, this is your time. You can make a quick $1. So just want to put that out there.
Yeah, and they'll definitely get a shout out on the stream, so free publicity by doing that.
Yeah. I just doubt they will, though. I think they're the
Yeah, it's
competitiveness.
whether they think that is worth almost certainly spinning out on lap one.
Well, it could cause a nice little wreck, in lap one as well. Oh, I can't can't wait for lap one. I'm actually so excited. It's just Baku in the wet is something I didn't think I would see today, because the rain forecast didn't look like it was gonna rain. Didn't look like it was gonna rain all week, really. I don't think so. But here we are.
Yeah, I think from what I saw, there was meant to be there was one slight chance of rain for like tomorrow or going into Thursday, but
Uh-oh.
yeah, I didn't. That'll be fun for you to deal with tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I don't remember us seeing any forecast of it today, so yeah, bit of a surprise, and I'm guessing that means drivers probably did not practice for the rain, which will just make it even better. At least for us watching. For the drivers, it won't, because they're probably quite nervous getting onto the grid. But
Let's just say already before the race has even started, well done, Baku. Well done.
well
And
done.
when it is wet, people also go out quite often early on to see, if the wet conditions are still the same, if there's the same amount of percentage of wetness on the track, which is what everyone's doing right now. But they will most likely press escape eventually again, and then come back later on, just to see, should I start slicks, should I start inters, wet, because you can't really see that if you're not on the grid itself. But we have 30 seconds to go, and a few cars lining up now. Everyone's so far on the. Well, Mark Fuller is on the wets, interestingly enough. So is Pedro Gomez. If that is not a tire bug, I think it's not, or this early on.
No, in qualifying and I think practice, those two were a bit more cautious and were on wet. At least
There's a lot
definitely
of
Mark
rain.
Fuller was.
There's a lot of rain.
There is.
Seems like there's a lot of rain. As we are about to go underway with the formation lap here, as I will run you down the grid. David Junt, beautiful pole position. I'm pretty sure that is his first pole position of the season here, as Quinte really dominated the first three. Liam Buck on P2, then Opacini on P3 with Walborn behind him. Quinte on P5. He's currently fifth in the standings. It's so close between the top five in the standings. It's insane. They're separated by 12 points. Brute Hastebeek, stand-in for Malta Force, P6. Frank Hemming, P7. And then Kiersmakers on P8 with Ragoza behind him. Then Ziubinski, Damian Cardos, who has done a really good job in the last few rounds, last 2 rounds in particular. Ivan Leonov, who had a grid penalty, which we forgot to mention earlier on. He's got a 10-place grid drop, so he went from P3 to P12 now. Math adds up. Mikko Galka on P13, Tom Vandervoort behind him with Kasper Michalak on P15 with Paweł Andrzejewski, who tried the softs, the slicks, thank you, which didn't work out in quali, with Argotita behind him. George Whitehouse P18, finally recovered from his broken arm, which he suffered earlier in the year. P19 Philip Koenig, P20 Matt Webb behind him. Ben Willis, Pedro Gomez, who's still on the full wet, so it's not a glitch, not a tire glitch. Scott Mitchell, P23. Mark Fuller also on those wets, P24, with Jack Nichols behind him. Vicente on P26. Harris Young behind him. Menno Klont should be behind him, but going for a pit start, which, according to trusted sources, is on purpose because it doesn't want to be in the middle of the mess that is probably going to unfold lap 1. Lorenzo the Cutis instead will take his place on P29, and then Milan Rajkovic, back from his one race ban, which he suffered from too much license points, closes the field. Josh.
Yeah, I think what you were saying there about Menno Klont, I think that is a very smart choice. Because especially in these conditions, and at the back of the grid, there is likely to be some sort of action, and I guess he'd rather just stay out of it, pick through the pieces cleanly, and then try and build from there.
Yeah, that's definitely smart, as he was already quite far down the order either way, so he doesn't really lose that much, and it's just way less risk. Talking about tire strategies, everyone except for 2, which we mentioned, Pedro Gomez and Mark Fuller, on those inters, everyone, and it seems kind of wet. It seems more wet than it did in warm-up, which may just be my eyes tricking me. But it may be interesting.
It does seem more wet, but just noticed that it's actually stopped raining, so maybe people on the wets made the wrong choice. Maybe after a few laps it might dry up and be a bit too dry for them. But we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be so interesting. I really should stop saying interesting. I say the word interesting way too much, but I can't stop doing it. We are all cars on the grid right now, so now it's just waiting for those lights to go on. Menno Klont is ready in the pit lane, and everyone is standing. So lights should go out anytime soon, as we're underway for 25 laps of wet Baku. As the lights show a little bit of a delay here. And there we go. 2 lights on already. 3 lights on. 4 lights. And we're all 5 on. And there we go then. And it's a really good start from Liam Buck. And he takes P1. Also, Opportuni has a very good start. But he doesn't go around the inside of Jant. Ooh, actually, Liam Buck overshoots the corner. And David Jant gets right back on the outside.
Crash behind. There is a crash behind. Someone is actually blocking the pit lane for Menno. Massive accident on the straight to turn 2.
Oh, that is a lot of cars out. Oh, yeah. No. Well, that was kind of unavoidable, was it? I didn't think it would happen this early, though. That's Matteo Keersmakers out, Philip Koenig out, Ben Willis, spin around, Vicentovic, Menno Klont made it through. He's just driving so slow to make sure he's getting through it, but there's so many cars involved. But in front we have Liam Buck, and for P2, Frank Hamming actually just passed David Jant. And David Jant is under attack from Opportuni as well, but he defends against it properly. So Frank Hamming now on P2. He started on what? P7. Frank Hamming has a brilliant start because no one really in front of him crashed either, as there is more contact down the order somewhere, I think. No, all seems fine except for still at the very back. There's still chaos, unfortunately. A lot of people with damage, but Liam Buck leads with already a 3-second gap in not even 2 seconds. Oh, David Jant almost spins there, but yeah, a 3-second gap in what, 2 sectors.
Yeah, that's an amazing start from Liam Buck to take P1 at turn 1 and then just pull away. I noticed going down to turn 3 it was Junt, Hamming and Opportuni all pretty much 3 wide going down
P10, George Whiteout is out, Galka is out, Pedro Gomez out, it's blocking the tracks, Zubinski is out, everyone is crashing in. Oh, this is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. Lancer the Cutest makes it through, but that is just absolutely terrible. That's like 4 or 5 cars out in that incident alone.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Menno Klont again though. He's kind of going slowly but picking his way through. He's already up.
Oh no!
And he crashes on his own though, as I say that. That's fortunate for him.
He's got no rear wing or front wing like ripped off, so that's all good. Liam Buck is still 3 seconds in lead. Ruud Hastenbeek overshoots, and so does Quinte. Quinte is overshot by a long shot, but he has had a 4-second gap behind him. Everyone's struggling in these conditions. Argo Teeter has no front wing from P10, and he's in the pits. He was involved in the accident, so is Zubinski, driving it out without a rear wing and front wing. Rajkovic also in the pits. Johannes Walborn also in the pits, also involved in that. So many people struggling, and that's understandable. I mean, nobody would have been prepared for this wetness.
No, it's I think it caught everyone by surprise, and I think that must be pretty much half the grid.
It is half the grid.
Yeah, as already P10 Scott Mitchell is 25 seconds off Liam Buck.
Literally everyone from literally half the grid just pitted or DNF.
Yeah, P17 down or P
and we're
down.
lap 1. All right. Well, we have a very interesting race on our hands.
Yeah, and still, as I said, it's not raining anymore, so people, I guess, now taking the chance to go on to Inters if they're starting to drive. I don't know if Gomez or Fuller were involved and had to pit, but it's definitely Inters now, I would say. So seemingly everyone making the right choice there.
And we have currently P12, Mark Fuller. I don't think he scored any points. Let me double check that as I talk. He has got points. He's got 4 points, but P12 is going to be a great result for him if he can keep that up. He's got a big gap to P15. Behind him is Harris Young, though, who is definitely looking to put up the pressure here. But if he doesn't crash out, then this could be a very good result for Mark Fuller and ST. So good job by him. A lot of people getting promoted in these positions. They really normally wouldn't be in. Matt Webb, he's pretty sure he's also a stand-in. He's currently on P9. Scott Mitchell P10 with not a straight steering wheel, but well, at least he has car parts on. And as I said, Mark Fuller on P12 currently. Who's not struggling in the meantime is Liam Buck, Josh. He's 4.8 seconds clear in 2 laps.
Yep, and already coming up to lap the first driver, which you never normally see on lap 2. That's very early, but obviously there was a lot of crashing. But yeah, he's just looking absolutely in control at the moment. 4.8 seconds after 2 laps is crazy.
But
especially when the people behind are Hamming, Yunt, Opportuni. You know, they're not slow drivers, but in these conditions, maybe Leon's got more of a wet setup on. Maybe he just saw this coming and did a bit more preparation. And it seems to be paying off at the moment.
But it's so easy to make a mistake here. Literally in the dry, if you make one mistake in the cross section, your race is likely to be over. In the wet, I can't even imagine how hard that is. Currently, Quinte is looking very fighty on the back of Ragosa. I think that is the closest battle we have on track at the moment, except for maybe P17. So obviously no DRS. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're still overtaking opportunities, because I think Quinte was running a low downforce, but I'm not too sure about that actually.
Yeah, I believe he was, but I think he did well in the final sector in qualifying.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Obviously, at the moment, there will be no DRS for the drivers, so yeah, it'll be a bit more difficult for them to overtake. People seem to have kind of already got their gaps sorted, so we might not see too many straight up. Well, as I say that, Quintai actually going down the inside of Ragosa in turn 1, and actually turns out to be quite an easy pass, so ignore what I'm saying, I'm completely wrong.
You are always wrong, Josh. Just putting that out there.
Scott Mitchell and Cutis. Big crash there. That is.
And they're mating with each other. Yeah. Oh, they've just finished, and now they are going to the pits. Well, Scott Mitchell was trying to.
Very unfortunate there. Yeah, Scott Mitchell just lost it through the S's, which is very easy to do in the wet. Even in the dry, it's, you know, a tricky place. And Cutis just could not avoid him in time as he was spinning across the track.
Argo Teeter, who was pitted. Argo Teeter getting a pass down on Harris Young. No, it's not. Who is that? That's a back marker. My apologies. Argo Teeter, who crashed out lap 1 and had to pit and is 58 seconds behind, is now in the points, P13. That's how easy. And Argo Teeter.
As you say that.
Oh,
no. Don't you curse him again, Liam?
Did he just disconnect?
I think he might have. He definitely has on my screen.
Please don't tell me I just jinxed that.
I think you might have. He is not coming back at the moment.
I jinxed him. I've never seen that much of a jinx. That's insane.
That is a mega jinx.
That
is very unfortunate. He did so well to be in that position.
I'm so sorry to Argo and to ST Racing. My apologies. I won't talk about the other driver at all during this race. Just, you know, because I don't want to jinx both.
On the same vein though, and again I don't want to jinx him, Menno Klon, who started from the pit lane up into P12. Looking on board with him, his car seems a little bit, it seems to got caught up a little bit. His steering is definitely not straight.
No.
But he's just been taking it clean, taking it slowly, and
Quinte just passed, was trying to pass Don Vandervoort around the inside, and now he's got the drive and he's got the pass done. Quinte, 2 overtakes in 2 laps. So great job by him, and now he's gonna go look his way, which the gap is 3 seconds rather, onto Ruud Heestebeek.
Yep, and at the front, Leon Bock seems to maybe be settling into his pace now, because the gap to Frank has come down a little bit. As Frank slides through there. We need to stop talking about these drivers because I keep messing up when we do.
Stop talking about the drivers. Just talk about something else. Because I think we're jinxing everyone.
Do you want to talk about playing some chess or?
Yeah, we can talk about chess.
Okay.
Might as well just play a chess game instead of. No, I want to watch this. This is too interesting. And the better chess player is on cameras anyway, so I can't really do that.
I don't seem to jinx people. I seem to just be wrong about everything. Because as I talk about Frank having closing in on Bock, he then extends the gap. Obviously, we saw that slide from Frank. But yeah, clearly the drivers just want to do the exact opposite to what I say. But yeah, I mean, I'm guessing these drivers at the front though are all kind of settling into their pace. See Quinte trying to get it through the field. But yeah, they're all seemingly just taking it easy. They are the top 3 in the championship, Hamming, Bok, Yunt. Obviously a bit reversed here, but yeah, maybe they're just thinking more about that, not wanting to do anything too silly. And obviously a podium, race 1 is good anyway.
Never mind, I was getting hyped for a backmarker overtake on, well, Retail's big overtaking a backmarker. But what I did want to mention, as you did as well, the top 5 in the championship are so close to each other. Sven de Vries is also in there, but he's not doing Supercup anymore, so he will definitely drop out of that fight after this race. However, Frank Hemming, as you said, 115 points, currently leading, with Liam Bok 1 point behind him. So if this finishes like it is right now, as Matt Webb actually lost his front wing somewhere and is now in the pits from P9. Actually, mentioned that in between, unfortunate for him. David Junt, 5 points behind Frank Hemming, 4 points behind Liam Bok on 110. And Sven de Vries 1 point behind him, he's going to drop out. And then Quinte, 7 points behind Junt. So they're in 12 points of each other, 5 drivers. 4 still in contention. And it's still so close, and they're still doing really well. Quinte seems to be the guy that's losing out the most right now because of his less than optimal qualifying.
Yeah, Quinte, I guess he seems to have more of a dry setup. Like I say, he's a bit of a rocket down that straight. So yeah, he's just trying to catch back up. Interestingly, I was just watching on Waldemar Fuller.
Matt Webb! Matt Webb has gone on slicks!
Oh wow. I was just about to talk a little bit about that. That Fuller on his wet tyres is having to drive offline down the straights, I guess, to try and cool them down. And the dry line is getting, it's there now. So I guess Matt Webb been the first to try it, been the first to blink. We'll see how that works out for him, see if he can keep it on the track. Seems to be doing alright so far out of the pits. But also importantly, how much time will he lose by doing this? He is having to drive very cautiously.
In the meantime, Milan Rajkovic has crashed once again, and he lost both wings. And he's now in the pits for another repair down to 21st and getting lapped. So that's most likely race over. Then again, it's only lap 6, Josh, and we've seen so much.
Yeah, this feels like I've been here all night. I can't imagine 20 laps more of this, as Matt Webb is going through the castle section, holding up Sabinski a bit there, because yeah, he is having to be very cautious on those drives. Could be interesting for him. He's at the moment a bit of a sitting duck on them.
I'm thinking, what is the default? Oh no, man! What? He's going out the way for a driver who's faster, and that is not what you do on those drives. Oh, and he keeps it now. Oh no!
He's gonna have a struggle. But if he can make it back to the pits, I think he needs to get on those inters, because it is not working well so far. Can't find reverse.
You can't get. Oh, and he does his rear wing. You can't get a centimeter off the racing line. Otherwise, you're just ruined in those strides. What I wanted to talk about is what's the default pit tire that you go on? Is it no change, or is it the dries? Is it softs? Because maybe that's what my Webb did.
Oh, he's getting a bit tasted there with Frank Hemming, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he did make a mistake, or maybe because I think he had to pit, didn't he? Because he had lost his front wing. So maybe he just thought, as he was already losing time, may as well risk it. Obviously, it hasn't quite worked out for him, so he might just go back onto the inters now. But yeah, it was worth a shot. But yeah, the important thing is you do not want to get off that dry line if you're on the dries. 1 millimeter off and you are around. As we saw, and now as he just got hit by a car who was not expecting him, Senchevich was not expecting him there. He's got hit very hard on the back there. His engine is on fire. That's not very nice.
Galkas also crashed in the meantime. He was laying, I think, P9, and now he has no front and rear wing, and that's unfortunate. Both Gallery 82 drivers crashed out, but one of them will get points because Damien Cardas currently recovered to P16 as Menno Klont. Look at Menno Klont being careful there. Look at this. Menno has not done any fast laps, I think, this race whatsoever. He's driving so smartly, and now he's P10. And he's still on pace for P9 because he's driving faster laps than Mark Fuller by about 3 seconds a lap. So let's say he's theoretically P9. He's doing an amazing job without doing an amazing job.
Yeah, he's just taking it very smart. Like I say, he's got a bit of damage, but he's still just driving around that, driving sensibly, and yeah, I mean it's not impressive looking, obviously, but he's gone from
Smart.
pit lane to P10 in 7 laps, which is impressive on its own.
Yeah.
And Mark Fuller, I guess, as well. He was P25, I believe, gone up to P9. Obviously, he's on those wets, so he might have to stop. No, maybe sooner than the guys on the inters. But he's also done a good job. So again, just by not being the quickest, but just being the cleanest. And I guess with Mark Fuller as well, he's got a lot of experience on his head, so he knows what to do in these situations.
Something I want to focus on is P4. Ruth Hastenbeek really pressuring opportunity. Oh, there's a castle crash. Oh, there is yellow flag.
In the wall at the castle section.
Man,
Fuller as he was going through there. He just lost the ren, looking like it, going through the left-hander and hit the barrier on the inside. He did well not to be stuck on the racing line. It's going to be a very slow turnaround for him.
Good job by him, though. That could have been way worse than it was, and good driving by everyone else avoiding that. I saw Yanis and Menno really respecting those yellow flags, so that's a good job. As in the meantime, Yanis actually passed Menno, which I'm sure Menno doesn't mind too much, because I'm sure he just wants to finish this race.
Yeah, very much. Menno just seemed to be wanting to get to the end, not really worrying about how fast he's going or where he finishes even.
But P4 at the moment is such a close battle between Opportuni, Hastenbeek, and Quinte, who almost just spun, but he saved it. So I didn't jinx him. There you go. But definitely a close fight. The racing line really becoming drier and drier. So once the pit stops do arrive, is there thought of maybe a slick? You know, we've seen Matt Webb do it, which didn't really work out. But by the time there will be pit stops, it will be way drier. So it could be an opportunity.
Yeah, I think what we might see is, I think the top 3, at least at the moment, will not try it, because as we said, then top 3 in the championship, they need to be safe. I don't think any of them will risk it. But yeah, people like Hastenbeek maybe being just a standing, he may as well go for it. And the dry line is definitely there.
It's quite big.
And it will obviously get even wider the later we go on. So I think Matt Webb just came in too early. I think that was the issue, but I think we might see that happening.
Well, he crashed.
Well, yeah, and he crashed as well, which is obviously the bigger issue. I think we could see that from a lot of people further down.
Yellow flag in front of Opportuni. What has happened there? There is Gallery 82. Who's that?
Yeah.
That is Damien Cardos. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's lost both his wings. What has happened there? Let's watch the replay. Did he lose it on the braking? He lost it on the braking, yeah. He held it. Oh, no. He held it, but the slightest of touches in the wall just ripped off his rear wing. That's very unfortunate. That was just a normal spin at first.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. It's very sensitive on the damage there. Unfortunate for him.
I think we may see Quinte actually fell 2.5 seconds back.
There's satellite there, just gone round seeing Ivan Leonov round out of the castle section.
So sad for him. His steering wheel is completely just ruined. He can't steer straight. I'm sure he's going to spin anytime soon with that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. He's not lost any wings, so it must be very bad suspension damage.
As we have another guy on slicks. Who's that?
Milan Rajkovic on slicks. Having to let Frank coming through a bit luckily down the straight, so he won't lose it like Matt Webb did.
So now let's watch at the lap times of Rajkovic then. Has he just been paused? No, he has not been paused. Yes, there is another crash. Who is that? Who is that? I heard the crashing sounds. That must be someone.
Must be standard off that to crashing sounds, isn't it? Believe is it?
Oh, it's even enough. It was even after he lost his
the
front wing actually this time. So uncontrollable.
Milan Rajkovic is now out.
Oh, we wanted to
Lit-
be the tough times.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's like so going into turn 2. Oh, it was actually he got too far to the inside on the wets there as he turned in, and that just dragged him wide into the wall. Lost both his wings, and that was race over. So maybe even still, it's not ready. But Kardash, by the looks of it, is going on the drive. So he's
Yeah.
things. To him, it's definitely nothing to lose. May as well try it out, see what happens.
And interestingly, Ragosa and Tom Venevaux are side by side, and I think Ragosa gets that position. I was actually just going. Wait, Tom Venevaux made a mistake. Surely he made a mistake because he was 5 seconds in front. Tom Venevaux outbraked himself, and that gives Ragosa the position. I was actually just going to talk about Ragosa because his previous races, he's shown great pace as Mark Frutter enters the pits. He's shown great pace, but he's also shown a bit of, he's got a lot of license points on his hands. You know, his pedals have not been the cleanest, but right now he's driving a great race for himself. He's currently P7, doing nothing wrong. It could be on for a reverse grip pole or a very good starting position around here. So he's doing a very good job, and shout out to him.
Yeah, like you said, yeah, maybe past few races, maybe it's been a little bit aggressive, you could say, but no, this race he's doing a very good job. P7. I can't quite remember where he qualified, but either way, if it was further down, then obviously he's managed to pick his way through the issues safely.
I will look it up. P9 he qualified.
P9. So made up a couple of positions, which was quite good.
I'm talking about Ragosa. He doesn't pay. He baited me. All right. So we have currently 2 guys on slick, so I want to keep them in mind and see. Oh, Ragosa.
Liaam on drive.
Ragosa goes wide, but he makes the corner. So no big drama, except he gets past. But Tom Venevaux, who's taken his position back. Michalak also in the pits, and he's gone to another set of inters. So no dry action on there. We have Damian Cardos on inters and Ivan Leonov on inters, who has crashed out another time and is now in the middle of the track while doing like 100 kilometers an hour. He's lost both his wings. The dries are too risky, I would say.
Yeah, people just clearly, even though it looks like a wide dry line, but I guess through some of these corners where obviously people are more just taking one line, it's a bit too tight, and yeah, any millimetre off and you will end up spinning, especially in the fast sections like after the castle section. It's very tricky spots anyway, even on inters, but yeah, with the dries you're gonna go round. So yeah.
What a race we've got here. I mean, the top, we're not even halfway yet. We're literally 11 laps
it's only
in.
been 11 laps.
It's only been 11 laps. It's nothing. We've not done any laps yet. And we've already got the top 13 only within a lap. And that's soon going to be the top 12 as Leon Bach still driving a great stint. And he's on his way to Lorenzo the Cutest.
Yeah, Liam Bach really is. He has actually extended the gap out a little bit more to 5.9 seconds to Hamming.
Ruud Heestebeek has a very good run onto Opportuni. I don't think his top speed is great from Ruud, but throughout the corners, maybe he could get something to work here. Another thing to note on the dry tires, even if they can be faster, which I still think they are not, they can be faster on pure pace, but if you need to pass someone, it's an impossibility if they just stay on the racing line. 1 centimeter on the dry or on the wet line and you are spinning, as we've seen multiple times in this race alone. So looking at Ruud now, he's looking very close and very fighty on Opportuni.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, on that point, that does happen. It's very frustrating if you're on dry tyres and you know you're faster, as I've had this back in Supercup in 2018.
Wait, you were faster than someone?
I know,
I don't buy that.
It was only because I was on the dry tyres
Okay.
at Austria. I believe I set the fastest lap of the race, but I could not even score points because anyone that I tried to overtake, you just can't get past. Especially at Austria, which is quite a more difficult track to overtake than here. And yeah, it could be frustrating for them. At the moment, Damien Cardas is the only guy on drive, but he is setting personal best, and he goes off at turn 1 though.
Did a 51.9, which is not that fast, but it's his PB. it's his fastest time by about 1.5 seconds. So I mean, he's not at the
Yeah.
cleanest race, but he's definitely maybe around this time. Maybe is the time you want to look at those softs. Then again, I don't think the top runners are gonna risk it. But it is so interesting. I want them to. I think I think you can now. I think now is the time you can. If you stay off the wet line, as Quinte pits, first one of the front runners to pit. So let's see what
Interested to see what he's on. Yeah.
Oh, I
Is
doubt
he
it's
gonna
gonna be.
try it?
I don't think so. It's not good.
He
Yeah,
does. He's
he
on
goes
the soft
onto the-
tires.
let's
Wow.
go. Oh, sorry. Let's go. He did it. He's on the softs.
Goats is in the pits as well behind him. See if he risks it on the softs. It'll be very interesting to see what they do. Because with Cardass, while he is setting personal best, he's still 1.9 seconds off the fastest lap of the race, which actually was Quintai, interestingly.
Come
But
on,
that was on
Quinte.
it.
I applaud. It's always been Boscara on not the strange strategies, but on the
The
how do you
alternate,
call
the
that?
different ones, yeah.
The different strategies. Yeah, the alternate strategies, and they're doing it again. Opportunity still needs to pit. I think the pit delta was maybe a bit too small for them to do a double stack, so maybe now Opportunity is coming in, and I think everyone else should be coming in because most of the people are going to be doing 50-50 laps, 50-50 stints, as there is a crash. It's not Quinte, which is a good thing. Who is it?
Oh, it's Cardass. He's on fire.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, not pace-wise though. He was on dry tires going through the S's at the end of the lap.
Oh,
And
Zielinski. Fastest
lost
man up
it.
front.
In
In the meantime.
Cardass out of the race. Vauban in the pits onto those dry tyres. Ragotza actually went back onto Inters, so clearly he doesn't think it's time for that. Wow, there's a lot going on.
But this is a risk still. 100% it is still a risk going on those
Yeah.
strikes. 1 centimeter, you make a mistake and it is done. As Opportunity goes into the pits, surely he's going to go onto the dries as well.
Yeah, Decutus as well into the pits in front of him. Obviously a lap down now, but he goes onto the drives as well. Opportunity also onto the drives. So Quintai actually, as I say that, he gets a bit twitchy through the S's, but he's at
done a
least
lap.
kept it. Yeah, he's kept it on the track so far, so he's doing better than a lot of other dry tyre runners.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen a dry tire runner complete, except Damien Cardos. He's done 1 lap. As did we just see a pick exit cut? And who was that?
Is that Opportunity on his dry tyres?
Well, that may get looked into, but yeah, it's so slippy, especially in the pit exit and pit entry because there's just barely anyone driving there.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's always the trickiest part when you go into a strategy like this.
So this is going to be the lap that we see Quinte's lap. I'm keeping my eyes on that. I'm keeping my eyes on the sector times.
Yeah, I think he could go quick. Already on his out lap, I think he was on pace or quicker sets 2 and 3 than the other people.
Let's see. He did a 27.8 in the last sector, which is 1/10 slower than his fast lap, and a 33.2, which is 2/10 slower than his fast lap. But he's probably taking it safe. So I think the soft is the faster tire at the moment.
I think right now there could be. I think still we probably won't see the top 3 try it because it's no point really for them. They're looking on Leon Boclo. Wow, actually, yeah. Quinte purple sector 1.
Wow.
1.5 seconds quicker than Leon Bock. I was just going to say Leon Bock going down the straight there. I think he's got some damage and also some heavy flat spots on his tyres.
Into the pits.
So he might have to pin soon anyway.
Ruud goes behind him. Ruud takes the big pits as well. I just can't see them. I just can't see them do anything.
Frank does go on to dries. Frank
I think
goes
everyone.
on soft tyres.
It's just faster, but it's so risky. It is faster, 100%.
Oh, Ruud got hit by someone.
Daystabake is
He's on the
interest. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we were saying that Ruud could, take this opportunity. Wait, hold up. What happened there with Frank?
Just the Quintai does a 147.7, which is 2.3 seconds quicker
what happened there?
than anyone else. It was
Scott Mitchell
round. There's a lot going on at that pit exit. Scott Mitchell just went onto the dry tyres and he was offline, letting people through and bumped because of it.
Quinte just on the fast lap, 47.7. compared to the previous fastest lap, which was in the 50 lows. I think 50.0 from Frank Hemming. That is 2.3 seconds faster. And Liam Buck needs to pit now. I think Frank Hemming could maybe undercut. Undercut, yeah, I got it right. He could maybe undercut on Liam Buck here because he was, what, 5 seconds behind? One lap is not enough. But if Liam stays out, which I doubt he will, his car is also damaged. Liam Buck has a damaged car and he's staying out. This could be very interesting. Is he going for a zero stop?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like we're saying, I'm not entirely sure if the fuel tanks are big enough for that. So that would, in some ways, be even more of a risk than going on to dries.
Now, Jens Walborn is sitting behind Liam Buck, and he's on the dry tires, but he's a lap down.
Opportunity having to go past his feet there, almost crashing because of it, because he was on the wet line. And now he's got Leonov behind him, lap down. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what the top two do, because obviously David Yunt as well, he's not going to want to drop out that top 3 because of it.
Yeah, it's just so hard to pass when you're offline on those slicks. I mean, I think the drivers, unless you want to do it on the straw, there's a crash. Who's that? That is Frank Hemming!
Oh, he's round. Hemming's round.
There's actually another one that I was looking at. Was Leonov who was out, and now Frank Hemming is under pressure from everyone. Appuccini side by side with Hastebake because of it. Does Frank have damage? I do not think so. It doesn't seem so.
No, I don't. Yeah.
But Hastebake on those
in the pits again. What's happened? I don't know what he's doing. He's in the pits. Maybe did he speed in the pit lane?
Well, if he's standing still for 10 seconds, which I think he is, I think he does have a stop go. Not a stop go, a drive through. No, a stop go.
Stop go, yeah.
Why am I confusing myself? It's a stop go. 10 seconds stop go penalty.
That's a shame for him. He was looking very fast.
Menno currently on P9 though, without pitting still. And Jens Walborn is looking very fast behind Liam Buck, who's not done a pit stop yet, obviously. Even if he would do one, he would still come out in front, but he's choosing not to, which means I'm pretty sure he's going to do a zero stop. And Jens Walborn behind him is faster, but he's on the dries. You can't pass anywhere, so he's it's not for position. So probably not smart to do stupid moves here because.
Yeah, some more crashing going on. I don't know. Seems to be happening everywhere. I can't quite see.
Vandervoort just spun around. He's in the middle of the first section.
Needs to reverse.
And there's another crash.
Quickly.
There's another crash. It's Micho Galka. The big. That is Appuccini rolling. That's off the Galka crashed, and that is Appuccini surely going to the pits. His car is not working. His car's off. Appuccini out of this race, surely.
That's actually quite interesting what happened there. It honestly looks like Appuccini just mistook where that Mitch Trapp was just going to sit there, or Galka, sorry, was just going to sit there, and he seemed to have actually sort of turned into him. Which obviously is not. I mean, obviously it wasn't his plan. But yeah, so unfortunate for him. He was looking very good on those soft tires.
Another crash. Yubinski has lost his front wing from P11. One of the guys that were doing all right, and now that's going to be a pit stop. And in the meantime, actually, Ruud Hastebake past Frank Hemming. There's too much happening, but this is peak entertainment. If this is not fun, then I don't know what will be, because this is great. Unfortunate for Appuccini with the accident. Michael Galka couldn't do anything about it. And that's just very unfortunate. And even Leonov has lost a wheel in the pit lane, but he's not giving up. He wants to go to his box because at this point, he's at least P17 and there could be points on the cards.
Yeah, I think, anyone.
Walborn?
Really, anyone who just finishes his race could probably get points.
Walborn is driving slow.
He's lost both wings.
Oh, that didn't update for me.
Everyone is crashing. That was unfortunate. That was Decutus was spinning on his own, and that caused Walborn to go into the wall through the S's.
Yeah, wow. And see Binky now in the pits as well.
Mark Fuller is up to P8.
Mark Fuller is going to be up to P9. Oh, I really. He's got the first win in 15 years rather, of his team. And now he's going to get a P9 result if he completes this race. I don't want to jinx him. I'm going to knock it off. He really deserves this. Paweł Drzezielski has just crashed as well, P10. This
Oh
is
no.
absolute turn 2, and he is not out. He doesn't have not have a front wing anymore, which is a bit of a problem. You know, the front fell off. So unfortunate for him, but everyone's crashing. It's so difficult around here. It's
Yeah.
so difficult to drive around here in these conditions, and I think it's better to just, you know, play it safe instead of pushing, because look, they're not getting any closer with Haste to Bake. Well, they're getting closer, but not nearly by enough. And if they can
Yeah.
make this fuel last, this is going to be a zero-stop race.
Yeah. To be honest, I still don't know if they can make it on a 0 stop. I think they might pit, but I think if they do right now,
But when they pit
it's
earlier,
like, well, maybe they're trying to get a bit of an overcut. If it was a normal race, that could work, because I know tyre wear here probably not going to be much of an issue. At least in a normal dry race, it wouldn't have been. Maybe they're just trying to get a bit of an overcut. Is Liaam Bok, is he going into the pit? He's looking over that side.
Menno.
No, he doesn't pit.
Menno does pit. Does he
Menno
have the
pit.
gap to Mark Fuller? I don't think he does, but
No, he might do. Fuller's next in the final stop, final corner, or final main corner. As it'll be interesting to see what Menno goes on. Obviously, he's been the safe and safe driver this race. He stays on inters, which I think is honestly the right call.
yeah, there's no reason to just go on the softs and risk it. So good choice by him. He stays in front of Mark Fuller as well on P8.
It looks like he hasn't fixed the damage. His steering wheel is still, a bit lopsided, but he's managed it so far, so I'm sure he can make it to the end even with that damage.
Harris Young just went wide in turn 1, and well, he's gotten out there. He's P14 currently because of... I mean, only now is Opportuni... He's still not out of the points. Opportuni officially seeing he's still in the points, P15, even after his crash and his DNF. So that's just the advantage the top runners had. Ziobinski has lost his front wing.
Oh, and Andrzejewski, his teammate behind him. So PLS having to 2-stop, that is going to ruin Andrzejewski there.
What happened to him?
I don't know. Frank Hemming's got past by quite a long way.
He just lost the position to Frank Hemming by outbraking himself. All right, that's the position gained back from Frank Hemming. At least there's no damage. It was smart enough to not turn in and just let the car go. And the guy we talked about earlier, which has made a great race, Alexander Ragoza, is currently in P5. Great job by him after, getting a bit of a reputation as a very aggressive driver in terms of battles. But he's showing everyone wrong. He's not set a foot wrong today, as he's about to pass the back marker. He's still on those inters. To be fair, I think if they complete this on a 0 stop, which I'm pretty sure they should, then that was definitely the best strategy. And respect to David Junt and Liam Bok for going for it.
Yeah, I was just watching the PLS's pit stops there, because he had Zabinski coming in just in front of his teammate Andrzejewski, obviously holding him, and then he almost spun on his own exit in the pit stop, and then Andrzejewski had it must have been about 40 seconds at the stop with damage and tyre changes, so not great for them. But with how crazy this race has been, they're still P11 and P12. Interesting to see that they're still going on the dry tyres after they just crashed, and which was why they were in the pits. But maybe they still think it's quicker and still worth it. Yeah,
everyone in the top 5 except for Frank Hemming on the inters. So I would say that the softs are 100% faster, but it's just not worth it for how much faster they are. It's Frank Hemming has done a great job on keeping that very close to the back marker, but he's done a very good job on keeping them alive, keeping them on the dry stuff, and he's running very good times. He's about 2 seconds a lap faster, maybe 1.5 seconds per lap. But yeah, it doesn't matter because the gap's 30 seconds. But yeah, oh, there's another crash somewhere. What has happened? It's the Liaam again.
Liaam, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Just gone into the wall.
He's got quite a bit of crashes on his belt, does he? As he hits the castle section again. Josh, he's not at the cleanest of races on his own.
No, I think he must have been one of the first to go onto the dry tyres, wasn't he? And to be honest, I think at this point he should just go onto the inters. Because if he can bring it home, he pretty much will get a point.
Well,
And yeah, it's seemingly on the dries he's been a bit not quite been able to handle them, maybe, or maybe just getting bad luck. I don't know, but yeah, maybe been pushing a bit too hard for the conditions, and it's caught him out. I'd
it
like
has, yeah.
to think as well. I was just thinking about what this will mean for race 2, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be raining anymore. It's obviously not been raining for pretty much this entire race. So will people, I mean, if you're on the dry side of the grid, dry tyres would probably work. But it'll be interesting to see what people do for that, looking forward.
Yeah, it's, I mean, everything about this event is just so interesting. And I'm sure we haven't even seen the end of it in... oh, there we go. We haven't, because Scott Mitchell has just spun, or his car is broken and he's on the wet, and this is struggling, and yeah. Yeah, he's P16, so there's definitely points on the cards here. But he's also had a bit of an unfortunate event. Lorenzo the Cute is in front of him, is a lap ahead already of him, and he's crawling to the castle section, as we actually see a wing laying, or not castle section, rather the fast S turn at the end. You see a wing laying on the track, but I don't see anyone missing a wing at the moment, so could be from an old crash.
Yeah. Just looking at it, I think David Young has sort of been reeling in Liaam a little bit. Maybe just pushing a little bit more, or maybe Liaam is just not pushing himself, but he has been going quite a bit faster than him.
6/10 this lap, which is not enough to the end, but if maybe, which I doubt, Liam Buck hits a cliff, then maybe there's a possibility, but I just highly doubt it, because I think Liam Buck knows this win is his. There's no need to take risks, and he's probably just chilling until the end. Would be my guess.
Yeah, that's very true.
Kute's really pushing still. Oh, Ziobinski's off. P11. Ziobinski it's been P11 all race, and he's lost his front wing twice, and he's never left P11. Am I wrong in that? Well, he's not off the front wing now, but he went off.
Yeah, I haven't quite noticed that myself, but yeah, he's every time I've been on him, he's been in the pits or spinning.
Yeah,
but he's still managed to be P11 though.
And still in front of his teammate. There's a yellow flag actually.
In front, yeah.
Who's that for?
Lorenzo Tacutus. He must have gone round, maybe. He hasn't lost any parts, so...
That's an improvement.
It is. Yeah, it looks like under braking he was just too much on the wet stuff. And yeah, he spun round. He did hit the wall, but luckily he didn't lose any parts, so...
This is the best entertainment I've gotten in a very long time. So far... Oh, Ragoza's just almost crashed, but he saves it. There he goes, Ragoza. That's a nice save. That was almost in the barriers. Getting that wheel spin on the exit, and well, he's managed to save it. So good save by him. He's on those inters, so it's not like it's impossible. Unlike with the slicks. Can't really find the word slicks today, can I? As Lorenzo the Cutest is in the pits, which really doesn't matter. From P15, he's got 2 laps of an advantage on the guy behind him, Scott Mitchell. Maybe even going for a fastest lap, even though I wouldn't recommend that in these conditions. But who knows?
Yep, and just looking at it as well at the front, definitely on was maybe just taking a bit easier because that lap only a 3/10 difference. So yeah, I think Leon has this one in the bag at the moment as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. I think his wheels, his tyres are definitely not looking in the best of conditions, which is understandable. But yeah, right now he just needs to bring it home. I think he's had flat spots on them for half of the race, so good on him there.
The people doing 48s are really pushing those softs still. All the soft runners are doing 48s, kinda. Jens Wolborn being the fastest out of those. Actually, Frank just did a 47.8, which is the fastest lap of the race. They're really pushing those tires. Mateusz Ziobinski has actually done... Oh no, sorry. Who's that?
Alessandro Quintai. He's done a 47.0.
Ah.
Yeah. To be honest, it actually went from when he first went onto those softs. He was pushing them and setting quick laps. Doesn't look like he's really able to match that now. Oh, okay. His sectors weren't looking all that great, and then he did a purple lap. So just again, ignore me. Ignore anything I say.
46.9.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really
Yeah.
pushing it, which is a bit risky, I guess, if there's nothing to lose or win.
Yeah, as we say
Um,
that, Cutis was pushing a bit too hard and hit the wall, but again, didn't lose any parts, so...
And he's listening to blue flags, so good on him. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Lorenzo is definitely finishing where he is, unless he makes a big mistake, because he's a lap up on the guy behind, Scott Mitchell, so no worries there. The battle for the lead is pretty much done as we enter the final lap of this
Who's that? Is that...
very
big
eventful.
crash. Is that Scott Mitchell in the wall? Losing some parts, because there was...
What was that?
Mishlak. Mishlak had lost his wing and was going slowly because of it, and that caught a few people out.
Well, there's a lot of front runners going behind them as well.
Yeah.
There's been a close to Jens Wolborn. Actually, a battle on track. Jens Wolborn looking to go for it. Jens Wolborn is on those wets, so if you go off the racing line, you are most likely in a lot of trouble. But Menno lets him by, so that's an easy pass, and he stays on the dry stuff. Okay, I think maybe Menno could have defended a bit harder there.
Yeah,
But,
I think, to be honest, for Menno, if he had stayed on the dry line, then
nothing he could do.
yeah, Wolborn would not have been able to go on to braking on those dry tyres. But Menno maybe still just being a lit, or just wanting to bring it to the end, I guess. P9 still, which is very good from him, from the pit lane, with Mark Fuller and P10, who again started quite far back.
Reverse grid is P6 to P10. So Tom to Mark Fuller can get pole position. Now, how amazing would it be if Mark Fuller gets pole position here? Or if Menno Klomp gets pole position here? Will probably be less interesting if Wolborn, Quinte, or Vandervoort get pole position. But I think that would be... I'm not sure. I think it would be Fuller's first pole position if that is the truth. How much chance is that? It's like 1 in 20 chance. No, 1 in 4 chance, rather.
Yeah. Just interestingly...
Yep.
Yeah.
Buck is now on his way to the finish line, and he's gonna win this boring race. No, I was kidding. Very eventful race. And there you go. Great drive by him. David Johns chose the best strategy. It was possible to do a 0 stop, and they have done it. And it worked out to perfection. Frank Hemming on P3, as there's another crash in the background somewhere.
Yeah, I noticed Scott Mitchell, he obviously lost his wings last lap. He didn't pit, I guess, because he realised it was on the last lap. But
evenly enough crashing as well. But Frank Hemming finished P3 with Ruud Heesterbeek on P4. The Dutchies 3 and 4, with Ragoza going to finish somewhere in the next few moments on P5, with Tom Vandervoort P6 and Quinte P7. Wolborn P8, a lap down. The entire top 7 in a lap, the rest outside of it. Leonov just retired in the last lap. It doesn't really matter anything for the standings. Menno Klomp staying out of trouble. A lap down, P9. I mean, not the most flashy drive, but a great drive nonetheless. And Mark Fuller, same. P10 for him. Both get a shot on pole position. What do you make of that, Josh? That's a lot. That was a race and a half, and we still have a race to go.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. There was so much going on. Yeah, Zimrinski actually, and not to finish, but he was going very slowly there. But I think just to make sure he finishes, he's apart from Mitchell, he's the only one yet to finish. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a crazy race. Obviously, we were expecting a fair few crashes from lap 1, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a bit speechless. I mean, it was good from Liam Bock, and David Young, you could say, going for that 0 stop, which I didn't think would happen, but there we go. Clearly, again, I know nothing, and it did work. Frank Hammond trying out those drives, which, yeah, worked for him. I think maybe if he had gone on, well, I think either way, because he was pitting, he wasn't necessarily going to beat the top 2 anyway, so it was worth a shot for him. Ruud Heesterbeek, yeah, just playing it safe, going on to the Inters and bringing it home P4, which was good for him. Yeah.
And we have also, in terms of the standings, Liam Bock is now unofficially leading the championship, but we still have a race to go. Frank Hemming should still be second. I think it's equalized. I think Liam Bock and or sorry, Frank Hemming and David John differ 1 point now. So it should be Liam Buck on number 1 currently. Then we have Frank Hemming on P2 with John 1 point behind. And then Quinte somewhere behind there. We still have 1 race to go. Don't forget that. 15 laps, if I am correct. No, I'm not correct. 17 laps. And I'm sure it's going to be as amazing as this one. So keep tuned for race 2 on Supercup Baku here. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very action-packed Baku race weekend here. Supercup on the way. We've done race one. Race winner Liaam, second David John with Frank Hemming closing the podium, and it was very eventful. Eventful doesn't describe it. It was insane. Everything happened that race, and it was a blast, Josh.
It was interesting watch. Difficult to keep up with all the action, but hopefully we did a decent job at that. Practice so far, or warm up so far, it hasn't rained at all. So I think everyone should be starting on dries, going for race 2. But it's still tricky as we see Jack Nicholls slide into the barrier at turn 1, which proves my point there.
It is very tricky, yeah.
So especially for the drivers that are going to be starting on the wet side of the grid, also all the even numbered drivers are going to have a tricky time off the start. So I think even though it is a bit more dry and everyone should be on dries, it will still be just as hectic, at least at the start, as it was last race.
Baku is Baku, is it? I mean,
It is, yeah.
wet probably adds to the chaos, but it's still Baku, and it's still gonna be a lot of chaos. As a reverse grid number is also known, it is unfortunately not 9 or 10, but it is 7. That means that Quinte, if I'm right, starts from pole position, and I'm right with Tom Vandervoort on P2 and Alexander goes at P3. And it seems to be, unless there's new rain incoming, which to be fair, I have no idea what the broadcast or what the forecast is looking like. It looks to be like a full slick race, meaning no mandatory pit stops. Well, there's never mandatory pit stops, but I think the softs should easily last the distance around Baku because tire wear doesn't really exist. But there may be some people that go onto the mediums here.
Yeah, I think that'll be the main difference we see. Then in the warm up, majority of people were on softs, but there were a few trying out the mediums. So yeah, I think soft should work because Baku is quite a low tire wear circuit. Obviously, half of it's pretty much straight lines. So yeah, I think soft should work. But maybe if you're trying to be a bit more cautious, then mediums just to make sure, and it might help you if you want to be able to push at the end of the race. But we'll wait and see. Should be going to the race soon, where we can then find out.
Yeah, it's just it's so fun to watch this. I mean, everything that's definitely by far the craziest race I've ever seen. Period.
Yeah.
That is amazing. We are
I'd agree
currently
with
missing 4 drivers, unfortunately. I think somebody had some issues with seeing cars. Was it Andrzejowski? I think it was, but he is back, and we're missing 4 other cars. But we seem to be
Yeah.
going to the race either way, so hopefully they will rejoin very fast. As the race director Chris is now just going through all the rules and all the brief. Is it a brief? You're an Englishman, Josh, help
briefing,
me.
yeah.
Briefing. There you go.
Yeah.
They just mix debris and briefing. All right.
Debris is probably what we see this race, but
Yeah.
that wasn't it.
All right. So the track, for me at least, looks very well right now, but as always at the start of the session, so we're gonna have to see, after a couple of seconds,
Yeah, it's
what the
just
track
our
will look like.
factor doing its thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. It already is drying up very
Yeah.
fast for me at least, and it definitely looks to be dry tire time, and so far everyone is on the softs.
Yeah. Like I say, that it is dry and it will be dry for the people on the right, but the people on the left-hand side of the grid, probably still gonna have a bit of a tricky time on the start. So Tom
Look
van der
over.
Voort, Ruud Hoostby, David Young might not get the best of starts.
Look at down the grid. For me at least, it seems there's it's wet down the grid, and in front of the grid, like from P20 onwards, there it's dry.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming that's just a graphical thing because our factor likes to do that. But
I hope so.
yeah. Anyway, we're getting away for the formation lap, so let's run through the grid. So yeah, res grid was P7, so that's Alessandro Quintana on pole position. Tom van der Voort P2 with Ragozza P3. So very good race from Ragozza mainly to get up there. Ruud Hoostby P4, Frank Hemming P5, David Young P6, and Liam Bock P7. Those three, it's going to be interesting to see how they make it through the grid, whether they'll risk it or not, or risk too much or not. You've got Janis Allborn P8, Menno Klomp P9, and Mark Fuller P10, who both pretty much got there just through being cautious. So again, see whether they carry that on into race 2. And further down, you've got Mateusz Stubinski P11, Pavel Andrzejewski P12, Kasper Michalak P13, Lorenzo Takutis P14, Scott Mitchell P15, Ivan Leonov 16, Adriano Opicini P17, Michał Gałka P18, Damien Cardas 19, Ben Willis P20, Milan Rajkovic P21, Mihail Vicentievich P22, Jack Nichols P23, George Whitehouse 24, Philip Koenig P25, and Matteo Kiersmakers round out the grid for Crossfire P26.
Yeah, Matteo has not had the greatest of last few races, unfortunately. He's had a few incidents, some his own fault, some not, and his pace is really up there, but just, again, I think he was tangled up in an accident in lap 1, which ended this race instantly, and it's just unfortunate for him. He's definitely got the pace, and the luck's just not going his way. So let's see what he can do in this race too from the very back. He's surely going to make some moves. Talking about the track, it's really not that dry as I thought it would be. I mean, the dry line is dry, obviously. I thought everything was dry, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I think, well, we even saw it still at the end of race 1. It's pretty much the same conditions as that, and there were still people. It's still, the dry line is a bit wider, but it's still, if you go a millimetre off, maybe if you're overtaking or just make a slight mistake, it's still completely wet, and you're still going to end up just sliding into a barrier.
Yep.
Should still be interesting. And actually, because we're talking about Matteo, and a few of those people at the back who they didn't even complete one lap in race 1, so they have no kind of idea of the conditions. So it's not as much as the other people who completed that race. So be interested to see what they could do. And if they, they really just need to keep it clean now, and just try and salvage some points. Otherwise, people like Matteo, Whitehouse, Koenig, going to be a pointless round for them.
Yep, that would be a shame. Some big names in there that you would not normally see get 0 points over 2 races in one race weekend, as we have here in Supercup, obviously. Fun for a few drivers coming up at the grid. There is quite a bit of time delay between the first and the 26 car lining up. Actually, it seems closer. In race 1, it was quite a big gap, but just make sure those engines don't heat up as you'll be standing there, Quinte especially, for quite a long time. They have already been there. We're waiting for Matteo Kiersmakers to line up on the back of the grid, and meaning the red lights will go on and then off again.
Didn't actually run through what tyres people were on there and run down, but Quintai is actually on the primes at the front. There's a good mix actually throughout the grid.
Yeah.
Quintai, pole.
Yeah, it goes as well. Sorry, that's what I meant.
As well. Oh, okay. Yeah.
There we go.
The lights are on.
There we go. 4 lights.
5 lights.
5 lights. And there we are on the way. And it's a good start for Quinte. The dry line is prevailing really hard. And everyone on the dry line just steams through. Vandervoort having a bad start because of it. And there's chaos in the back. Well, it seems to be already clean. People going wide, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess at the back, but not quite as big a crash. And then there's, who's that? Richie Speak in the wall.
Oh?
Richie Speak was in the wall there, and I think, was that Whitehouse having issues at the back? Matteo. At the front, Quintai has got a bit of a gap already. Seems to have been quite easy there. Frank Hamming up to P3 already.
Oh, Menno making a 3-wide turn today. It's a spin, but it saves it. Michalak is also almost spinning. So much drama, but no one really crashing out. Rajkovic lost his front wing, that's one thing. And there's another crash as, whoa, it's Galka. And Boborn gets blocked because of it. Galka is blocked on the track. Oh, what's happened there in front, is it? No, everything fine on front.
Oh, right. Andrzejewski.
Oh, Andrzejewski lost, and he's locked in Liaam. And now they're... Oh, this is horrible.
Reverse on the racing line. Oh, that's the blockage.
Menno
That's
caught
a
it.
track blocker
Oh
just
no! Are they making it through? They are making it through. Okay.
Yeah, okay, it's not quite as bad as it could have been. But as I say that, on the exit, there's, there's quite a bit of contact.
Oh,
Few
sorry.
front wings going. Yeah, I mean, this was sort of to be expected, I guess. Dry tyres on what is only just a dry track is always going to be interesting.
Oh, behind another crash, Jack Nicholls has lost his front wing, and in front Ben Willis has also lost his front wing, so big drama at the back there. Not as big as race 1, but that's very hard to top, and everyone is coming onto the straight now. It's Ragosa, P2, Quinte still first, right? Sorry, then Ragosa behind him, Frank Hemming, P3, all pretty close to each other, but then the Bok, Heasterbeek, John, and then there's a gap to Ziobinski, about 3 seconds already between P7 and P8.
Yeah,
Menno Klont actually
well,
on straight. Appuccini, Menno Klont, Vicentovic 4 wide almost. Let's see who prevails. Well, Appuccini in front, Menno Klont, slight contact, and he on the wet. You don't break on the wet, and there you go. You spin around, and Appuccini is almost in the wall. And in front there's a car who spins. That's Kasper Michalak, and now Menno Klont fights his way through, and I think he won like what? One position, was it?
I can't remember what he was in. He was in P17 at the start of that straight.
Oh wow, three positions then. Oh, Kasper Michalak defending from Philip Koenig. That was a pretty aggressive move, but now Philip Koenig braking on the wet. That's not going to work out. I mean, the problem with that is you can't go 4 wide on a wet track. That is just not going to work out, and we have a first retirement and a lot of pit stop. It's Jens Wolben, who is retired, and it's Scott Mitchell, Koenig still.
It's just parked at the pit lane exit there. I don't know what happened.
I think he did a little nap.
Ben Willis had to try and avoid him though, which did well too, but yeah, that's interesting.
Wall crash, it's Appuccini with Lorenzo De Cutis. Lorenzo has lost his front wing and is spun on the racing line now, and should be all good because he's gained control again.
George Whitehouse just steered off there to the wall.
Oh, so much battling.
Yeah.
Menno choosing the better of it. Let's Michalak through, and now Philip Koenig looking fighty, and George Whitehouse looking fighty. But yeah, there's no way you get past there behind as well. Vicentovic breaks himself and goes into the wall, and kicks out George Whitehouse. Oh no! I mean, that's too wide. You can't break that late, and Whitehouse has retired because of that incident.
That is unfortunate to see. Yeah, it's just getting caught out by the conditions, braking too late, maybe on the wet stuff, but yeah, it's unfortunate. And Whitehouse really was just there was nothing he could do on that.
Philip Koenig
coming in too hot.
In the meantime, Philip Koenig, has passed Menno Klont for P14. No drama there. He's just done it on the straight, as I do hear more drama somewhere.
That's actually very good from Koenig, thinking about it. He started P25, didn't he? He's done well to get through that into the points.
True.
Yeah, and it looks like he hasn't even got any damage, like no contact from that. So that's good.
Yep, Matteo Keersmakers, I think, also involved in that Lab 1 incident once again. So he's pitted, but he's still in the race, and he's now P19 as he's going to pass Vicentovic and De Cutis, who are both in the pits. So there's definitely points in the cards here, because I'm sure people will make mistakes. I'm talking about mistakes! Liam box out!
Oh, he's hit the wall there, lost his front wing.
Oh
that is
no!
so unfortunate. That's going to be quite big for the championship. He's going to lose quite a few positions here. Frank Hemming and David Young still P3 and P6.
I mean, Liam Buck, what happened there? I think maybe it was just dirty air, which gives him no braking.
Yeah, I think he was put out just a bit too close.
I think because of that, little dirty air snap on the braking, he hit a wet patch. But man, he's just gonna steer right into the wall, which is so unfortunate for our race 1 winner. And he's looked great all weekend, but now he's gonna lose a lot of positions. He's still maybe not even dropping out of the points though, because the gap to P15 is already around 27 seconds. Maybe he'll stay in there for now.
Yeah, I think he might do. I think.
Crash behind Menno is out. Yep.
That is, P15 as you talk about. Having issues, Klont and Galka. That's not very good. I think they're running a bit too close. I think Galka was just running a little bit too close to Menno through the S's.
Oh, did he hit him?
Just hit the back of him, yeah. Just got caught out and hit the back of him. Yeah, that's not great. Menno losing his front wing, Galka can pit as well. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good.
That is just speed different. I mean, men are probably taking it safe compared to Galka, who went for it, and then yeah, there's a car in front of you, so it didn't go right. And Galka is now retired. Menno is still in the pits, and he's gonna continue this race, and rightly so, because he's close to the points. P17 at the moment, as he's gonna get passed by a few other cars actually. But yeah, he's definitely still in the battle for the points here. As at the front, we just see Tom van der Voort lagging off. Hopefully there's nothing going to be happening there, but there is going to be an attack from Ruud Heestebeek, I would assume. Oh, don't go wide there. Oh, that's risky from Ruud Heestebeek, but he gets the toe here. Is DRS enabled? Something we didn't actually talk about. Should be.
Not entirely sure.
It is not enabled.
No.
All right.
Clearly the game thinks it's too wet.
It is. Maybe, yeah, but now let's see at Heestebeek. Does he go for the move here? It's risky braking here on that white part of the track, and he doesn't go for it.
Looking further back, you got Kia's makers, Ben Willis. Kia's makers will be looking to get some points just to get anything from this round. But they've then got a massive 30-second gap to further up P14 Liaam Bok. So, just like race 1 already, it looks like if you can finish, you're going to get points. Crazy first few laps here. Again, like race 1, only been 3 laps, or 4 laps, sorry. And,
Not as crazy, though.
Not quite as crazy, no.
It is still dry. Well, kind of dry. So,
Try
a bit
it.
less
You
drama.
don't make a slight mistake.
Alright, let's see the guys at the front. Kunte still leading for Frank Hemming. Then what goes out, Tom van der Voort and Ruud Heestebeek. Ruud Heestebeek so close on the back of van der Voort, and he's looking faster. And so is David Junt, our P2 finisher on the last race. I think this battle is something we need to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting. You've got all 3 of them are on slots. Interestingly, actually I missed that. Frank Hammond got past Goetze. So Kuntai at the front is on the medium, and if he can keep in front, even on the harder tyre, then he'll look very good. Because Frank Hammond, by the end of the race, even if his tyres can make it, they will still drop off. So Kuntai looking good on those harder tyres.
Ruud Heestebeek now definitely has to run onto Van der Voort, but does he get in front of him before the corner? That's the most important thing. I don't think he will. So he's going to have to brake on the wet part. Is that going to work out for him? He tries to go on to the dries and it works out for him. He gets the pass on. Great move by Ruud Heestebeek.
Yeah, that was very nice and very clean considering the situation. So, yeah, he'll... yeah, I mean, no DRS obviously, so Tom van der Voort maybe can't get back at him just yet. But he'll be looking to stay close and get him back on the main straight the next lap.
Michalak, meanwhile, sorry to interrupt you, will get a move onto Opportuni. Opportuni defends the inside. It just gives Michalak the racing line and breaks later because of it. And that is a move done for Michalak. He goes up to P11, and that's another clean move. Nice move.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think David Young, he's Tom van der Voort actually seems to be dropping back a little bit from Heestebeek. So David Young is eyeing him up now. I think Young probably wanting to make it through the
Michalak.
Frank Hamming P2 as
Opportuni and Michalak still battling. I'm sorry again to interrupt you. Opportuni just went back down the inside, and that's slight contact, but I would say acceptable contact. And Opportuni has got the position back again. So great move. Maybe a bit over the line, but it's on the edge. But he got it done, so good job.
Yeah, and as long as they're both still going, I guess you can say that's fine.
For Baku standards, yeah.
Yeah, for Baku and in these conditions, that's good. That's a good overtake. Yeah, looking through, not too many battles going on. Was that a car around that I just saw? That was Jack Nichols, I believe, but he's obviously a lap down.
Oh, Ivan Leonov lost his front wing. Uh-oh. I was literally just about to say that Ivan Leonov has done a great job in this race compared to his race 1, but he's just lost another front wing. I don't know what the count on is on right now, but it is on quite a bit, I think, and
yeah,
it's on sticks, I've heard. With
Ooh, Kears Makers is out. What's happened here? It's
Uh-oh.
going. Oh, what's? Oh, that. Interesting.
Yes.
It was fighting with Ben Willis. Maybe. I mean, I don't think Ben really did much wrong there, but Kears Makers just getting onto the wet stuff and putting the throttle down too hard. Just ended up going round.
Disaster of a weekend from him, to be fair.
It is,
But-
yeah. Race 1 maybe wasn't his fault. I think he got caught up in just a big pile up that happened. But
Ooh.
yeah, maybe being a bit too aggressive or just I don't know, trying to make his way through a bit too quickly.
Ragosa currently
bounce back.
in the last lap looked very fast, and he's now approaching a back marker, which he needs to be very careful about. It's currently making him lose some time. It's Vicentovic, and Vicentovic goes to the side there. But last lap was 5 times faster compared to Frank Hamming, who locks the brakes a bit there. But definitely you have to keep an eye on that. And also someone you have to keep an eye on is David Junt, as he's surely gonna make a move here on Tom Vandervoort, and he's really got the runny on the straight.
Yeah. Tom Vandervoort has a slight slipstream there from Vicentovic. But I don't think that'll be enough. David Junt is closing in quite quickly. We go inside or outside. Going inside. Just gotta try and brake later.
Whoa.
Oh, that was very nice.
Nice move. Wow. David Junt may be the one getting the most out of this race. Most points out of this race, although Quinte definitely a good contender with P1 and P7 so far. But we're not even halfway, so anything can happen, really. As even Liaam, unfortunately, has DNF'd, and Ben Willis just lost the front wing from P14. What happened there?
Yeah, we'll have to check out what happened there.
Braked himself in the corner before the castle section.
Yeah.
Just braked himself. And unfortunately, that is, well, not end of the race, but he's going to drop to around P18, and that's going to be difficult to recover from. The leaders just going past the wing, and actually Ragosa almost hit it. Ruud Heestebeek
Jan
is
did
on the
hit it there.
back. Oh, Jan did it. Uh-oh. Hope he's not got damage. In fact, the one that will rip your car apart. But
Yeah.
we've got an interesting battle for the podium. Ruud Heestebeek has cleared. Tom Vandervoort behind him and David Junt. And is now on the tail of Alexander Ragosa. And I'm curious about DRS. There's no DRS yet. Ooh, Ragosa hits the curb a bit too hard. But I think it may get activated as soon as it's dry enough, deemed by the game. And I think we may be getting close to that point. When? I do not know. But I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, just looking at it, according to the game, there is still 69% track. Well, very nice.
Very funny, John.
Caught me off guard. That is the truth. You may not believe it, but that is the truth.
Mistake. Ragosa makes a mistake, and that gives Ruud Heestebeek the opportunity to get down the inside and get this move done. Ragosa doesn't brake late, and that's the move done. But now Ragosa will have this slipstream back, so maybe we will see another move here.
Well, you could see, so I've lost my train of thought there.
I'll continue. Ragosa around the outside, doesn't brake late, but Ruud Heestebeek, oh, he does brake late. It's side by side, and now Ragosa touches the wall a bit. I think that was clean enough, and that's Ruud Heestebeek gaining that position. And now it's David Junt literally on the tail of Ragosa because he almost touched him, but just barely not.
Yeah.
Have you got your forte back or whatever that English saying is?
I think so. I'd like to actually carry my point on, to be honest. I'll say 70%, right? So it's about 70% track wetness, which obviously it depends on how the game works that one out. Because obviously online there's it's dry, but offline it's still very wet, and maybe the game is just taking it all into account, and it won't enable DRS until it's all dry enough. Which, looking at it at that stage, might not even see that before the end of the race.
No, if there's still 70% wetness, then yeah, it's very unlikely that DRS will be activated. I think it's 20%, if I'm correct. So likely not going to see that. What we are going to see is David Junt get a nice little slipstream from Ragosa, and I do not see this. No, a crack behind. What happened there? Is that a back marker?
Yeah, I think that is Scott Mitchell. Let's see what happened. David Young and Rigosa side by side going into turn 1.
David
Young again. Red locks up slightly. He's lucky not to go off there, but yeah, just there. Mark Fuller's out. Oh no.
David John sorry in the meantime. Almost hits the back, but yeah, Mark Fuller's out. That's so unfortunate. What happened to him? Let's watch that back.
It was at the castle section. He was stupid. It looks like he just lost the rear end going into it, and ripped his rear ring off going into it, and clearly thought enough was enough, and he's out. Couldn't make it back to the pits from there, I guess.
Well, I think he deserves an applause for his race 1 performance either way.
I think he does. I think he was doing very well.
Well, he's got damage for sure, but yeah, he's hit the outside wall. Ooh, he's hit the wall coming out of the last turn, which is not the most crashes we've seen there, but he just did it. And I think he immediately chose to pit, and he's gone onto the softs, and he doesn't lose much position with it. He lost like 2 positions with it, so it's a good decision. And what goes back, Junt and Tom Vendevoort on front are still in a very close battle as we approach the main straight.
Yeah, I think Jan, he's gonna have to get his braking right this time going into turn 1. He did it on Tom Vendevoort. He needs to do it again on Rigosa. Rigosa actually seemed to be maybe lower wings or higher gearing, because he was actually slightly pulling away from Jan as soon as Jan pulled out the slipstream.
David John to dirty air. It's almost spun him around, but he saved it. Well, it wasn't really a big moment, but it was big enough for me to notice. And now he's got the run 334 top speed. He's got the inside. Don't make the same mistake he did last time. He doesn't go to the dry line as soon as he can, but I think he's good here. He's got the run, he's got the drive, and that's a nice move done by David John on Rigosa.
Yeah, very nice. Be interested to see if he can now catch up to routine speed. He seems to have the pace. I think it's important for him to do this, because obviously Frank Hamming in P2, he doesn't want to let him get too many positions in front, gain too many points on him. He wants to stay as close to him as he can, really. So if he can try and get back onto the podium, it's like race 1, then that would be very good.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a great all weekend, and getting those extra points will definitely help in the very close championship battle. Rigosa's next hunter will be Tom Vendevoort, who's also looking very fast. So probably on the next straight there will be an action coming from there. Otherwise, I'm looking now on track. I don't really see any more battles, except those are the only 2 drivers currently battling. So let's focus on them, I'd say.
Yeah. I'd say as well, looking at actually Kuntai is doing a very good job on those harder tyres, because obviously Rigosa as well, the only other driver really at the front on them, and he seems to be dropping back. Doesn't quite have the pace of the other guys around him, but Kuntai is still got a 2-second gap to Hamming. He's looking very good, so yeah, it's good for him. Maybe Rigosa not able to.
Menno very slow.
Oof.
Very slow through there, Menno, but it's fine, I guess. Now it's the run getting Tom Vendevoort. He's got a lot of top speed. He's got a lot of top speed. He's going around the outside on the dry line. He wants to take it, but will he be able to claim it? I think he may. Well, no. Rigosa brakes late enough, and that is a bit of contact, but Rigosa makes the corner, and that's a position kept by Rigosa there. Nice defending.
Yeah, it was. Tom Vendevoort clearly not maybe feeling as confident as Jan. He was wanting to stay on that dry line, and it just meant that Rigosa was just able to keep it up to inside, even without necessarily the most amount of grip. So yeah, good defending from Rigosa there. And it seems like without the DRS maybe, that main straight is the only real opportunity for people to pass. So Tom is going to have to wait 1 more lap.
Something I would love to mention is Frank Hamming's pace at the moment. His last lap was a 45.7 compared to a 46.5 of Quinte, so that is 8 tenths. He's just won, and his gap is only 1.9 seconds at the moment. Gets a lot of oversteer in that corner, but he's doing very fast lap times. He's really pushing it. And this lap as well, he's been very fast. So we could see a fight for the win in about, 2 laps?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great to see. Maybe Frank keeping his tyres, just not pushing too hard at the start of the race until you figure them out. And then maybe now he's realised that he's got enough tyres to go to the end and is wanting to push and get on to Quintai. Because obviously Quintai is still harder tyres, sorry, what was that?
We've missed a crash in the meantime, sorry, I thought we were done talking, but we've missed opportunity losing his front wing, but continue on, sorry.
Okay, yeah, it was just, Quintai on the harder tyres. Obviously his tyres will be better at the end of the race, but maybe Frank is trying to capitalise before it gets to there. He slides through turn 2. Yeah.
He's just
maybe
won
Frank
another
up until
410.
that point would still be quicker. Yeah, he's still going very fast.
Yeah, unfortunate for Opportuni that he's lost his front wing, but he's back on track. I didn't even lose that much position because the gap is just that big. People who have crashed earlier on, we may see a battle for P15 going into the point. And actually, John Vandervoort has dropped down to P7. It's been passed by Ziobinski.
Yeah, I was just watching it going into the final, the final braking zone. He just, maybe he was on the curb a bit too much, and he lost his rear end and went wide there. Which, yeah, allowed Zabinski through. So, unfortunately for him, he was looking right on the back of Ragosa. But, yeah, unfortunately there is... What's happened? Ricky Speaker's crash.
Yeah, he's lost his wrong wing. What's happened there? Coming out of the Gasol section. And he's just spun around. Oh, he's gone on the wet patch, and that is the front wing gone.
Wide. That is very unfortunate. It's such a small mistake, as we were saying, millimetres is enough to do it. And, yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. He's looking very good.
Yeah.
And that has allowed, as I was saying, Young onto the podium. Maybe not, you know, not in the way you would have wanted, maybe, but it's allowed him onto the podium. Yeah, I'm sure you will. As again, Frank Hamming goes about 4 tenths. Oh no, sorry, just updated. 6 tenths quicker than Quintai that lap. So he is definitely looking for that where he's win.
Yeah, looking very good. 1.3 is the gap indeed, and I mean, about like 2 laps. He's gonna do, you know, he's gonna get him in about 2 laps, and it's gonna be hopefully a nice battle. But maybe Quintai has some pace in the back. He does have those medium tires. Ziobinski in the meantime we shouldn't really talk about. He's in P5. He's doing an amazing job, and he's catching Ragosa, who has a back mark. Oh, Ragosa went wide, so that's more time gained there. But he's doing a great job, Josh.
He is, yeah. Obviously, we saw in race 1. Really, for me, I seem to see him always backwards around a wall, but he still managed to take it on P11, and yeah, he's managed to do quite well at the start of this race. Maybe just keeping it clean and picking through all the accident. Yeah, very good drive from him, and Ragosa there again. He still just doesn't seem comfortable on those harder tyres, which was allowing Zabinski to close in on him. So we should see another good battle there. Maybe Tom van der Voort, after his mistake, might be able to catch up to him too, but that's a bit more far-fetched maybe.
Yeah, true. Well, it depends on how the tires go. Obviously, Ragosa is on those mediums, so the drop-off will be less than the softs will. But Ziobinski is looking very fast on those soft tires. In the meantime, Frank Hamming has, well, I've done about an equal lap. Let's see what Quintai's lap time is. He's done a 45.9, fastest lap of him personally. And Frank Hamming lost 3 tenths in that lap. So maybe Quintai had pace in the bag. And now Frank Hamming is just, well, unable to respond. And we need to see that this lap as well. But the gap has increased to 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, maybe Frank's tyres are going off a bit more. Or yeah, maybe Quintai was just holding him back a bit. And now he's pushing. We'll have to see.
I'm just looking at Ragosa. He's literally drifting across the corner. Well, not really drifting, but he outbraked himself and just, you know, didn't give up the corner. He just went plowing through it, didn't hit anything, but that looked very impressive. But no issues there, except maybe a big flat spot on the front right tire. He's done it. Oh, he's doing a similar thing. He's struggling a bit under brakes, I think, but P4, he's had a great race weekend so far, at least.
Yeah, he has. Again, like we were saying in race 1, he's the kind of guy that maybe hasn't had the cleanest or best of starts to the season. But this round, he's definitely kind of making up for that and doing a very good job. And if he can get P4, That would be very nice for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Frank Hemming really pushing hard now. You see how hard he's throwing the cars around the corner, and I think the gap has, 100% the gap has slowed down. It's 1.1 seconds now. But the problem is, I think Quinte has a lot of top speed, so let's see what he loses down this straight. He's 1.1 away from him now. Obviously, no DRS, even if he would be within a second. But Frank Hemming is just winning a lot in those twisty little turns. And I think he's losing time on this straight. Let's see, 1.1 is the gap. Quinte's lap time will be a 46.3. And Frank 46.0. He's losing 3/10 on the straight. So it's not that bad. But Frank definitely needs to get into the DRS, or not into the DRS, but rather the slipstream as soon as he can. Because he's got to win the time in the twisty section and then keep up with him because of the slipstream, I'd say.
Yeah, and I was looking at their straight line speeds there down the straight. Quinto is definitely running lower wings. He hit 329 kilometers an hour. Frank Hemming only just hit 321, which 8 kilometers an hour is quite a big difference. And even in slipstream, Frank might not have it. He just might be running too high wings. But we'll have to wait and see on that. If he can even get close enough to get in the slipstream. At the moment, they seem to be leveling off a little bit.
I also want to shed some light on Liam Buck. He's won race 1, but had that incident earlier on, but he's recovered just amazingly. He's currently in P8, so doing a fantastic job, as we actually have Ziobinski on the tail of Ragosa, literally almost hitting him through the castle section here. I think we can see a move here somewhere.
Yeah. And looking on that as well, Damien Cardass.
Ooh, here's the big.
Sorry,
Goes past Buck on a great move. We're just talking about him. And he's lost the position to Ruud Heestebeek, who's also shown very good pace. Had that mistake earlier on in this race, and he's recovered greatly from it. And that was a nice move he made on Buck.
It was, yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, Cardass, he completely crashed out of race 1, didn't he? He was starting near the back, and he's made his way up to P7, just keeping out of trouble, which is good for him and Gallier 82. See, they haven't scored any points so far in his teammate. No.
Ziobinski going for the pause on Ragosa. He's going the inside. Ragosa now has equal top speed because of the no more toe, but Ziobinski brakes late. Does he make the corner? It seems to be easy for him, and he makes the corner, and that's a position gain. Ziobinski up to P4, and a great drive continues.
Yeah. It's, well, both of these two, I think both of them probably want that P4 after maybe the season they've had. So, as Ragosa is trying to get it back, going around the outside, Ziobinski was slightly on that wet stuff going down there. Great to get the switch back on him, but it's going to be difficult to go around the outside here. And he locks up. Oh no! He reversed too hard into the wall there. He's lost his wing. Tom
did the same thing as someone else did. What was that? Someone else did that in race 1. I don't remember who that was.
I can't remember who it was. I remember it happening. But it's unfortunate. Just as I was saying, both of them wanting that P4. And
he's got
now
9 seconds.
He's dropped it.
He's got 9 seconds on Cardass.
Yep, and actually, 30-second or so gap back to Ruud Heestebeek, so he might still be able to get a good result and at least get points. But just.
Yeah, it is the last lap in as Quinte comes across the line. So
Ragosa. I think he was pushing a little bit too hard there to try and keep his time. He's
in the meantime, Quinte comes across the line and he wins a dominant race 2 rather. Sorry, and Frank Hemming couldn't match the pace. Comes down in P2. David Junt will finish P3, somewhere far behind, 10 seconds behind Frank Hemming. Ziobinski very happy, I'm sure, with his P4. With Tom van der Voort behind him, and Damien Cardass is fighting with a wingless Ragosa, which whoa, he gets the overtake down. What a great overtake from Cardass. No, it's not. He's
Ragosa with no wings. Ragosa with no wings. The straight line speed on that car hitting 338 kilometers an hour gets him back.
Wait, what are these windows? What? Did he let him by? There's no way it just happened.
Ragosa with no wings. Oh, that's an interesting sight.
I just
Caught
can't
you a
believe
bit
I
off
just.
guard, I can tell. Reduced League comes home P8. Liam, what?
Uh,
P9 after winning race 1, but making that mistake at the start. Philip Koenig does really well to finish P10. You're still going.
I can't believe I just watched that. I was kidding. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, but that is absolutely hilarious. I just see a wingless Rose charging through and feeding Carlos to the line. That is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think he set one of the fastest sector threes there, just because of that straight line.
What on earth? All right then. I did
Yeah,
not see that coming. All right, very good race once again. Both races were just amazing. This is peak,
it's been a bit
peak,
crazy, hasn't it?
peak
Ooh,
entertainment, I would say.
and even their Opportunity and Cutis very close across the line.
Oh, yeah.
Opportunity just finishing in front of him. Yeah, that was
What on
interesting.
earth? I want to
Uh,
get Ragosa for an interview if he wants to. That is the
yeah,
best thing I've ever seen. Anyway, what a wonderful race, even besides that. Alexander Quinte winning this race and, well, he's doing a great job. I think he may have gotten the most points out of everyone. Maybe Frank Hemming is close, but I'm not too sure. I need to do the math here, but both of them have done a great job. Liam Bach as well, obviously. But Liam Bach got a little bit less points than Quinte because he got that P9 and that P7. Um, yeah, absolutely great race. Great race for the championship as well. It's so close, still in the championship. Sven obviously dropped out of it because he didn't race. Makes sense. So we have 4 drivers really close in the championship, and they're not giving up.
yeah, it's it's looking set to be a tasty championship, and yeah, with Sven out of it, gotta leave these for yeah, just I think I don't know. I don't know what to say, to be honest. After that, I'm lost for words. But Hamming and Yunt, especially this round, have done a very good job to get that double podium for both of them. So very good.
Yeah, scoring amazing points. But yeah, that P1 that Buck got, and obviously Quinte also got. That's 25 points compared to 16 for P3. So,
Yeah,
winning a race compared to getting double podium and then, well, getting a double podium compared to winning a race and then doing a bit less good. It's close in points between those two. But a really exciting championship that I'm blessed to cast this series because it's just been amazing throughout the whole year, really. And obviously, Baku didn't disappoint as well.
yeah. By far the craziest round I think I've ever seen.
To be fair, I
Potentially
mean,
at GPV.
exaggerating is
Oh,
easy. Exaggerating is easy, but I think that is honestly the most fun I've ever had watching a race.
yeah. Even right to the end there with a wingless Ragosa just
Yeah.
storming it down the main straight. It's yeah. It was a mad race. There was a lot of different things happening.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any interviewers, interviewees rather. So that will be it from us today. Thank you so much to Sandeep Singh for doing great work on cameras today, and obviously Josh, you as well. Great job on comms. We will be back tomorrow for the Super League Lights race, which I don't think can beat this in terms of craziness, but I'm sure it'll be great fun. And the day after that, we'll be back with Super League, and all of those races are at the same time. So thank you all for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I had because I had a lot of fun. Josh, do you have any words for the viewers?
I don't know. I just agree with you. I had a lot of fun doing that and commentating over that crazy race. So yeah, hopefully the next round will be just as mad as that.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow as well. Goodbye.
Goodbye.